Hey, hi everyone. Good evening to all. Thank you so much for joining in. We'll be starting with our session very, very shortly. We just wait for a couple more minutes for others to come in as well, and then we'll get started. हम अपना सेशन जल्द ही शुरू करेंगे. हम बस कुछ मिनट और इंतजार करेंगे ताकि लोग आ जाए and फिर हम आज का सेशन शुरू करेंगे. Thank you everyone for joining in. Just starting in a few minutes.
हे दोस्तों, वेलकम टू अपना कम्युनिटी। ये वो जगह है जहां आप अपने असली पोटेंशियल को एक्सप्लोर कर सकते हैं। देखो, सबके पास स्किल्स होते हैं, पर क्या आपके अंदर वो स्पार्क है जो आपको कामयाबी की ऊंचाइयों तक ले जा सकता है? अगर आप सोच रहे हैं जॉब चेंज करने के लिए लेकिन रेज्यूमे सेलेक्ट नहीं हो रहा या फिर इंग्लिश में इंटरव्यू देना थोड़ा चैलेंजिंग लग रहा है, तो फिक्र मत कीजिए। यहां हम हैं आपके साथ, आपको सपोर्ट करने के लिए। अपना कम्युनिटी में आपको मिलेगी बेहतरीन कम्युनिटीज जहां आप अपने प्रोफेशनल स्किल्स को सुधार सकते हैं। चाहे आप एक्सेल, टैली, जीएसटी में माहिर बनना चाहें या फिर आप खुद एक ब्यूटिशियन या डिजाइनर हैं, तो यहां आप अपने काम को शोकेस करके दूसरों को टिप्स एंड ट्रिक्स देते हुए आगे बढ़ सकते हैं। अपना कम्युनिटी में आपको मिलेगा मेंटर्स का एक खजाना और बड़े इन्फ्लुएंसर्स का साथ जो आपको हर कदम पर 1-to-1 गाइड करेंगे। यहां आप ज्वाइन कर सकते हैं अपने फील्ड या इंडस्ट्री स्पेसिफिक ग्रुप्स, जहां आपको ऐसे कई लोग मिलेंगे जिनसे सीख के आप वो गलती ना करें जो वो कर चुके हैं। ऐसे लोगों की जिन्होंने स्टार्ट किया था एज एग्जीक्यूटिव्स एंड आर नाउ सक्सेसफुल मैनेजर्स इन देयर डोमेन्स, जो आपको आगे बढ़ाने में मदद करेगा। यहां आपको मिलेगा वो सही डायरेक्शन जो आपकी करियर को नेक्स्ट लेवल ले जाएगा। तो लेट्स अनलॉक योर पोटेंशियल टुगेदर। अपना कम्युनिटी में ज्वाइन करें और अपने सपनों की ऊंचाइयों तक पहुंचने का सफर शुरू करें।
Yeah. Hey, hi everyone. Thank you so much for joining in. A very good evening to one and all present here. We'll be starting with our session right now. And yeah, Srilata, I'll share the link with you shortly. Yeah, just give me a minute. Yeah. Thank you so much for joining in. We'll be starting with our session now. For people who are coming in here for the first time, let me quickly let everyone know what this session is about. So we are doing these sessions as a part of Apna's community exclusives. We've been doing these sessions for quite some time now. We started doing this maybe a month or two back, and we have these sessions every day from 7 p.m. The main reason why we are doing these events is to help in your professional career, to help you upskill, give you certain tips and tricks which will enable you to get jobs better and advance in your career. Today's particular session is based around data science. We will be talking about We'll be talking about the different career opportunities that you can explore in the field of data science. And for that, we have Jayant here with us. Jayant, thank you so much for joining in, and we welcome you for this session today. Jayant is a data science lead at Zscaler, and he's been mentoring young graduates and freshers in the field of data science and helping them understand how they can advance in their careers. So yeah, I think it's great to have him here. And Jen, over to you. Thank you so much for coming in. And why don't you introduce yourself and tell people a little bit about the session and what they can expect?
Thank you very much, Debanjan. That was a great intro. Thank you very much. Right.
Yeah.
First of all, welcome everyone. I hope you get some valuable insight out of this session by end of it. Right. It feels so good. So many people have joined in to learn something new and to acquire some new knowledge. Right. No matter which the topic is, the engagement should always be high. Right. You are here to acquire something new, to gather more insights into what you are trying to deliver. Right. So talking about myself, I am Jayant. I am working with Zscaler, as Dipanjan mentioned, as a data science lead. I'm in the industry for almost 8 years now, and I've worked on a lot of AI-related modules like your conversational bots, computer vision-related tasks, machine learning objectives, optimization tools, statistical models, A/B testing, and whatnot. And this throughout the journey, right? A lot of things that I have acquired and something that I portray to everyone is that upskilling and keeping yourself up to date with the latest trend is the must in any field, especially in the data science field, because it's booming at such a high rate that every other day some new technology comes in, some new company comes with a new potential package or something, right? So we have to be on our toes and keep yourself up to date. So with the idea of that, we have organized this session for all of you. articulated a lot of topics, designation wise, domain wise, technical stack wise, such that by the end of it, you can know where you fit, what are your strong points, what are the areas where you can improve or upskill, and the things that you need to keep in mind while applying for any kind of a job or any other such opportunities. Right. So without further ado, I'll start sharing my screen and we'll dive in, right? And yeah, please use the chat section and all like to keep the session engaging. Be very, proactive. You can type your questions. I'll be taking a look at it every now and then, right? Okay, since I'll be on a screen share, so a minute or two can be here and there, but I'll like definitely take a look at those questions and we'll address all of them, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Just reiterating what Jan said, please feel free to use the chat and Q&A. We will be giving you opportunities to ask questions as well. Will be a dedicated Q&A round, and all the questions will be taken note of so that whenever we are taking pauses, we try to address those. So communicate with us through chat, and whenever we give you an opportunity, you can unmute yourself and go ahead and ask the question. Over to you, Jan. Yeah.
Thank you. Great. So that I'll share my screen. Just give me a minute.
Let me just quickly make
Oh
you
yeah,
the co-host as well. Yeah.
perfect. No problem.
Yeah. I think you should be able to share now.
I can share. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Okay. I hope my screen is visible. If people can confirm that, that would be wonderful.
Yeah. Yeah. It's visible. Yeah.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, that's it. Okay, so since we are here to talk about various job opportunities in the world of data science, right? So giving a biased view just about the data science will not be sufficient because when you are learning something, you have to keep in mind what will be your stakeholders, what will be your POCs, right? Where you will be dragging your data in and where you will be pushing your data. So what will I will try to do is try to focus more on the data science tech stacks that you all should be have on your plate. Besides that, the other technological skills with either you will directly or indirectly will be communicating. So having a broader level knowledge of all these tech stack that we are about to discuss will be really helpful for you down the line. Okay. Given that, the things that we're going to be discussing about the various opportunities that AI has created, the impact that is created, the skills and the levels required to achieve all those things, right? And a very high level to a granular level distinction between the various jobs, because it's no longer just, machine learning, data science, AI, and engineer. The designations have been changed a lot and their requirement have changed a lot over the period of time, right? We have a dedicated session for Q&A, but as Dipanjan mentioned, it will be great if you can put your questions here and there in the middle also, so that we can, we make these sessions more of a conservative kind of a skill, like, we are talking to each other, not just a one-way communication channel, right? Good. So since we are talking about data science and AI, right? So you might have already realized, right? When a particular person comes in and says, "Oh, yeah, you need to, level up in the data science world. You need to learn something." The first question comes to our mind on what basis or on what data that you are saying that this skill is trending. This is the job that, most of the companies are looking for. So those days are, literally gone where I'll show you a number chart or a presentation. Those things are available on your every other article and source. And since it's a world of AI, half of the information might be false, right? So why not you yourself explore that, right? Think of any organization, company that you think, right, is a place where you want to work, or people are working, or if you're confused, just pick randomly any Fortune 500 company, go to their career page and right now see, or maybe, later today, just observe what are kind of jobs they have. Each and every company is looking for a data scientist, machine learning engineer, data analyst, data engineer, and whatnot. So that gives you a real-time scenario of what the market is filled with right now, right? So you don't need a third party, acclamation that yes, that is trending. You yourself can go and validate that. If every organization where you want to work, or even if the companies that you don't know are hiring, that means something is going on, right? That means people are not just buzzing around it. It has an impact, right? And if you're still not convinced, look around yourself, open your mobile phone and see each and every applications that you're using. And I can tell at least one use case of AI they have. For example, if you open Netflix, right, the whole world knows they rely on recommendation engine, giving you the best of best recommendations. Spotify use LLMs to generate music on the go with your integration with a health device. They monitor your beats and accordingly the music changes, right? Zomato works on optimization models, distance calculations, prioritizing restaurants, price optimization models. All these are AI-based models, right? Any other application, retail-based, travel destination, entertainment apps, even the property. One of the case studies I worked in was a dynamic pricing engine for a property company. Right? Imagine even the realtors are acquiring the skills of machine learning because everybody wants to maximize their revenue, right? So one thing is sure that currently we are surrounded by organizations or products that are leveraging AI in one form or the other, right? Either recommendation, optimization, classification, regression, chatbots based out of LLMs, right? Anomaly detections and whatnot. So one way or the other, we have all these kinds of applications. A lot of you might be wondering that your own organization is working on, and you might trying to upskill and join those projects, right? So this is more of a world of AI that we're living in that does not require a third party, assurance. We ourselves know that these products are something that we really need to work on, right? So that's the only spark that you need to go, forward into this. But still, if you have any confusion, this is the, like a more generic or in a concise fashion. That's something I can say that the kind of domains and the technologies where the world is literally leveraging these products. A lot of these products I have worked on, like for example, the healthcare company that I worked on, they leverage is a GAN model that generates images from the scratch. You might have heard about deepfakes and all, right? So after LLM, everyone, chatbots and all, everyone came to know about these things, but there were organizations were already working on these kinds of scenarios. So healthcare has a huge potential still because that is one department where most of the innovations are happening, right? Finance was one of the first sectors compared with retail, which leverages the AI the most. You might have wondered, the banking system that uses churn models, iteration models, fault detectors, loan application status detectors, revenue management, and all those things. So all these banking companies have core AI designated profiles like HSBC, HDFC. They all have right now openings for hiring people that can work on statistical model or machine learning model. Chatbots, which these days are called conversational bots, are popular without being said any word about them, right? We all know every organization are trying to get their hands on LLM. One of such product I'm currently working on where we are trying to build a system where our employees with our company's secure data can literally get any information they want on the go, especially companies which are subscription based model like your Netflix, security companies, banks, right, where the customers are working on a repetitive fashion, right? They require a huge amount of data and insights to attract customers. So real-time data processing and generating insights requires your LLM to process this information in the go, right? And transportation without, like it does not need a fame of its own. We all know Tesla. I mean, they were all automated cars. A lot of companies were working on it, but Tesla was the one who brought the revolution in the spark in the industry, right? So they all leverages models like your object detection, instance segmentation, and various other computer vision models that the machine uses to decide how to automate and navigate, right? But this is just in terms of domain, what people are working on. We'll be talking about more in terms of technologies that you require to work on these various projects with respect to various designations, right? So a lot of you might be working in one or the other industry or might be interested in going into another industry, right? So this is a good opportunity because since I have worked in a lot of other domains, so if you have a very specific question about any such industry, for example, let's say you are into grocery or retail, right? Or you are into aviation, right? Or you are into mining or into banking, finance, healthcare, defense, and you have a use case and you want to know whether it can be done, whether people have done something on it, please fire away, ask your questions. this session is all for you all, right? So that if you have a thought in your mind and you're a little hesitant because of either some lack of the domain knowledge or even the tech stack gap is there. That is why we have this session, right? So this is, and just to give you an idea what all things are going on in the industry. But if you have something very specific in your mind, it will be wonderful if you can, fire it away on the chat window, right? Great. Cool. I can see a lot of questions regarding cloud DevOps and, in terms of the background of what you're coming up with. So very timely placed questions in terms of background. How can I, say something like when I was learning data science for the first time, the students that were in my batch, in my VG, were completely off record with in terms of IT. Because I was under the impression that people who are in the software or the IT world, they are the only one who's learning these skills. But that was not the case. I have people who was a doctor, an MBBS, I have a lawyer, a CA, people from economics. The last project that I built was a price engine optimization. In my team, there were only two software engineers and three economics. We five people build a data science model, right? So if someone comes to me and says, I have worked in this, or my master's and bachelor's is this, can I work on it? See, that is completely such a field which attracts all the people, right? For example, is I can see on the chat, a lot of people are saying, like, one question mentioned that biotechnology, biotech, medical field, genomes, your chemical industry is extensively, utilizing the power of AI. And if coding is something that's stopping you, trust me, that is should be your last worry. Because 4 years back, if someone would have asked me, like, do I need to know hardcore coding for it? Then I would have said yes. But these days, we have so many tools that the only thing stopping you from leveraging an AI product from end to end is that, are the fire inside us. That's it. We have tools like K9, right? You have the entire AWS SageMaker. You have Azure, Microsoft by that. They provide you a drag and drop system where you can build, clean, process, automate your entire machine learning pipeline. Obviously, no, I will not going to give you a sugar-coated answer. Obviously, knowing coding from the scratch gives you an upper hand in the market. You could be part of a team which are developing something new, but that will not stop you from entering into the data science world, right? And especially people who are transitioning, you should not be worried about the complex thing, right? It's like if some kid comes up to you and say, I want to be, the cricketer, I want to be like Sachin Tendulkar or anyone else. Obviously, on day one, they will not be that great, right? But what I'm saying is, in the world of data science, even from day one, you can build models. Naturally, over a period of time, you will improve, you will acquire skills that will take you to the next level, but not stop you from entering the market, right? Very interesting perspective of bringing DevOps to the chat window. Yes, the world of AI is also shifting into an environment where cyclic, transition and like a CI/CD pipeline should be installed such that any changes you make in the model can be deployed quite easily. So we have tools that can do this for us. Don't worry about it. And acquiring these knowledge or, even at a high level knowledge will definitely be really, really going to impact you. If you talk about salary, a data scientist on top of deployment skill will be way more valuable compared to just mere data scientist, right? Good, right? I'll keep going on and keep an eye on the chat window, and every now and then I'll entertain all of those. Okay, cool, wonderful. Then, again, this is not an exhaustive list. This is not a list I wanted to share to, overwhelm you or and scare you. Whenever we are learning something, it's a very smart strategy to draw out the things that we should be learning either today, tomorrow, or day after tomorrow, right? Because you will be having a target in your mind that this is what I want to achieve. This is what I want to do, right? People get confused. They see that I have to master all of these to be enter into the market. No, you need to pick what skill you want to be. You want to be a data analyst, then having somewhat about of domain knowledge and your dashboarding skill is good. You want to be data analyst, real-time data analyst that requires partial data engineering, partial data science. You want to be someone who's really good in LLM and chatbots, then NLP related task. You want to be someone who's good in computer vision, then computer vision based libraries, right? So depending on the role that you want to put in, there are some popular libraries that is trending into the market. And this is just mere a very concise list. There are ton lots of other things that you should be having on your plate. But if you have an idea about these skills, it will be amazing for you to enter into any market that you want to be, right? A lot of technologies you might have already heard about them, but it is a good starting points for majority of your tasks, right? Just to add on it, Tableau, Power BI, IBM Watson, AWS SageMaker, Google Cloud, which is GCP, Microsoft Azure, Snowflake, they all have come up with their own almost no coding kind of an environment where people can bring their unique ideas and can build a machine learning model from scratch till deployment. Again, I will say knowing coding will definitely give you an edge, but it will not stop you from building your own product. Imagine small scale startups, right? They don't have the budget. So that means they cannot afford a coder, so they will not be able to build a machine learning model. No, they can leverage all these cloud services with just a idea in their mind and they can build that, right? So if you have a question here, it's a very good opportunity. If you have any idea or confusion about any particular tech, a package, or any particular profile that you want to apply and you are looking for a key skill, please put those things on the chat window. I'll take them up in a while. Okay, cool, right? So that was at a very high level. If I talk about the basics, right, as of current market. So skills are, there is endless, humongous amount of skills available in the market. You already seen in the previous slide. But that is not our goal, right? Our goal is to come up with a strategy to be the best in the market. So for strategy, some basic skills, if you have, that is good enough for you to enter into any market that you want to be, right? So basic skills are, you should, whether you're applying for a data analyst, data engineering, or data science, some basic skills you should definitely be having. For example, for data analysis, right? Your data cleaning, manipulating, or analyzing, or like visualizing a story out of it. Those skills should be there. More like a soft skills, and your own intuitive skills should be there. But this is not something you can, learn by listening to someone or like watching things. This can only be acquired by doing hands-on. There are huge number of data sets available in the market, like UCI machine learning, Kale, right? GitHub has so many codes, data. So data is enough. Free sources of data are available. Pick any one of thing, start exploring, start seeing videos on how to, generate insights, what kind of a charts people are plotting. This will help you clear not only your confusion in mind, but the interview process also. Because when we do things hands-on, we encounter some errors. Those errors are not roadblocks. Those errors are there to help you understand that whatever knowledge you have as of now is not sufficient. You need to acquire some more skills. And to solve that error, you will acquire that skill, right? So basics of that is really important. As far as programming languages goes, Python is the best. If you know Python, nobody can stop you from entering into the job market. Now, Java, why I have written here is for because tomorrow you will be masters, right? Not today, but tomorrow definitely you will be masters. At that time, having a secondary knowledge of a programming language like Java will be a really, really good cherry on the cake, right? And cloud is something is inevitable, right? We cannot run away from that. Almost every other organization is migrating to cloud. Since everyone is migrating to cloud, you should, if you have any one skill, Azure, GCP, AWS, or any one of the cloud service on your plate, that's it. You are good to go. And you don't have to get master it. At least basic level of knowledge should definitely be there, right? Yeah, I see someone has mentioned Streamlit. It's a really good tool for visualizing your models. Good. That is something should be there in everybody's forte. because Streamlit requires minimal amount of Python level coding, and you can create your own web application where you can deploy your product, right? Important skills for data analysts, I would say you should definitely be having medium level knowledge of SQL and at least one dashboard skill like Power BI, Tableau. If you have these two skills, nobody can stop you from entering into the world of data analytics. All right. For LLM and Gen AI, if you are complete fresher to data science, don't jump directly to the world of generative AI because you will be able to use them as a tool. But if you want to be part of a core team, then start from scratch first. Basically, try to understand your basic NLPs first, basic computer vision libraries. Try to do small projects first, and then gradually build up your profile, right? Because the world of LLM is increasing at a very, very fast pace, right? A very popular question, especially for a fresher's point of view, whether there are jobs or not. Currently, market has a lot of jobs. The percentage of fresher jobs is relatively less compared to medium and senior level. But then comes the question, how will you get an experience to be a medium level person, right? Very fair enough. So it's not that the companies are not hiring. There are a lot of companies who are hiring freshers, but majority of the hiring happens in the internship point of view. So some startups, even service companies, first hire people on the internship point of view because when they hire someone fresher, right? Even if you have done some course, they have to invest something on you, right? To train you, to get some certification. So if you go through the route of internship, then it's a very good and much more better route. Otherwise, even people who have already have experience, right? Let's say 5 year, 10 years. No, it's difficult for them to get an internship. For them, you have to showcase your domain knowledge because 5 years you have worked in some domain, right? So that needs to be converted into a story that connects with your data science skills, right? Perfect. Yeah. So if you have good knowledge of NLP and ML, then Hugging Face is your best resource to learn, deploy your generative AI codes. Now, I would not say someone who is completely new to directly go to that website and start developing models. It's a little complex. You require at least medium level knowledge. But if you already acquire, then you have great projects that can help you build LLM from scratch. Right? Perfect. Cool. So again, that's really good. You guys are keeping up the chat section alive, right? So I'll keep on going. And over a period of time, I'll stop and entertain those questions, right? So some advanced skills, as I mentioned, as you guys were asking, in terms of generative pre-trained models, GPT and all, this is little advanced. It comes with NLP world called transformers. In computer vision, we call, transfer learning, object detection, instance segmentation. So these are some advanced modules which will really be helpful if you are looking for high-end profiles, right? Perfect. Now, telling about different job markets and key skills point of view, right? So I think a lot of common questions in the chart that I saw was regarding the designation and the key skills required. So for that, if you are, more inclined towards a data analyst, one thing majority of us lack is that we acquire a skill, but we are not able to sell that skill. Why? Because imagine if I am developing a product, right? That product monitors or keep record of my heart condition. It's an IoT device. Now, if I'm hiring a data analyst and that person has absolutely zero knowledge about medical science, right? Has no idea about what data, related to heart diseases and all occur. It will be difficult for you to come on board and transition towards a data analyst who brings quality insights in the world of medical science. So the company will be preferring someone who has uh, some bio level knowledge so that you at least understand their data. Otherwise, they have to train you. Same goes for your banking, right? If you're applying in HSBC for a data analyst, HDFC for a data analyst, they'll be like, if you have zero knowledge about banking, you have not even basic level of knowledge. They might trick you and asking you what's credit and debit, right? If you don't even know such basic level of knowledge, then even if you are master in Power BI, you will not be able to understand their business. So if you don't understand their business, how will you bring life out of it? So data analyst is not just acquiring Excel, SQL, Power BI, Tableau skill. It's acquiring, researching about that job profile. If you're applying in Big Basket, 10 days is more than enough to be master in retail, right? Watch extensive videos in how the business of retail works. If next week you are applying for a banking, at least be, prepared, know about the company, do some research. You don't have to do a PhD into banking domain, right? Each one of us do transactions every day. These are general knowledge that we should be knowing it, even if you are not a data analyst, right? We focus entirely on tech skills, and then when we reach to that point, we lack one or the other business domain rounds, right? So focus both on domain and your tech skills, right? Now, a lot of you are here just for the data science and data analyst, but I'll tell you, each and every day you will be directly talking to a data engineer. Now, that's a profile which is really intensive in the market right now. Intensive by saying that I'll tell you that almost every organization needs a data engineer. They cannot work without them. That's a main engine, right? So this is one skill, even if not directly, indirectly, you will be talking to these folks. So if you have some knowledge about Spark, PySpark, Kafka, right? Some streaming services, some ETL tools like AWS Glue and those things at a very high level, that will give you a edge over the others. Because when I am recruiting a data scientist and I know that in my machine learning models, the data is being fetched from AWS Glue ETL cycle, and then there are some Kafka streaming happening that process the data in real time and dashboards are built. So even if I'm hiring you for a machine learning person and you have the skills or at least some high level knowledge of this, I'll be preferring you over other candidates because I don't have to train you in these things. You can talk to those folks in quite a technical terms, right? So that will be a add-on. And again, not to master it, just at a surface level knowledge, right? Now, when it comes to data science, uh, talking about the overall knowledge, you should be good with handling data sets from different sources in different volumes. Be very creative in bringing some ideas onto the table. I have worked on various machine learning models. Never ever we have just gone with the raw data. No, we always generate data from the data, right? For example, as simple as if you have length and breadth, I'll be taking the area of the rectangle L into B, right? So if you have age, salary, other columns like that, we'll be trying to extract some more information out of it. If I have a date, I might convert into weekday or weekend, right? Morning into evening, like that. So creative mind you should bring on the table. A basic level of mathematics and stats, machine learning knowledge like supervised and unsupervised models, right? Your neural networks, that would be really helpful. Programming language Python is more than enough. Trust me. Very few organizations are still on R, but majority of the organizations are on Python, right? And if you have mastered Python and R, then as I said, tomorrow when you will be an expert, then programming language like Java, Scala will be really helpful. But seeing the trends these days, I would say even if you have Python, that's more than enough, right? And lastly, something that you might be getting confused a lot, like what is data science if I have another profile called machine learning engineer. So a machine learning engineer is a confusing designation, to be very honest. Confusing in the sense, for example, if I talk about my organization, in my organization, a machine learning engineer is one who can build a model but can deploy the model also, like your DevOps and cloud skills, like CI/CD pipeline. Someone who's really good in programming, like basic data structures, advanced data structures. You have good knowledge about packages, right? You can write your own Helm codes and all those things. Really advanced level profiles. These are the profiles which are really high paying. So maybe not today, but if you transition from data science, then your next goal would be a machine learning engineer person who not only develops a model, but can come up with an entire architecture. Right? You can suggest someone that where should we should keep the data, how frequent we should run a model, where we should run a model, whether the code is optimized or not, right? What kind of a new product we can build. So more of an architect level knowledge right? Kind of a full stack person who knows data analysis, basics of data engineering, machine learning, deployment, cloud, like literally everything, right? So if you have any concerns, questions as of now with related to all these profiles, please fire them away, right? So let me see if you have some new questions. Uh, how to learn SQL from, for SQL, there are a lot of resources like W3 Schools is there that gives you an opportunity to learn and practice on the go. W3 schools, right? You have tutorials point, right? Chat GPT is here. You can build your profile over there and you learn something from scratch, right? And more resources and skills you can, Dipanjan will also share some list of exhaustive courses and curriculums that they have on their plate that will help you build your profile much, much better, right? Uh, for AI and ChatGPT, you should be good. As I said, your basic level of NLP should be good. Your transformer level coding should be good. For ChatGPT, your prompt engineering skills should be good. You need to be good in coding if you are trying to fine tune your models, right? So try to work on your basic to advanced level of Python. Those skills will be really helpful. Once you have done Python and Java, you don't need to learn any more language. All you would need to do is practice those things from a data structure point of view, right? For example, in terms
Uh,
of,
yeah, Jen, sorry to interrupt. Just one question I think we might have missed out. This is some she mentioned he mentioned that he's doing MBA in data science, has learned Python, SQL, Tableau, and is it possible for him to search for a job on the basis of that?
okay, I missed that question. Just give me a minute. Oh, wonderful. Right. So a lot of organizations requires a marketing analyst or a business, administrative skills in the dashboarding or the analyst profile. For example, just to give you one example, currently in my organization, we have almost 3 to 1 ratio of, data analysts versus the machine learning engineers. And those ratio is maintained because we hire a lot of, MBA folks who are good with Tableau and SQL skills to generate business insights for our own internal product and for the external product. So this is just one idea why company prefer a master's degree here for dashboarding and visualization skills is because you have a key advantage over others in terms of understanding the business. For example, if you are in a subscription based model, so you will be knowing a lot of key things like the business jargons, right? Your annual contract values, your subscription models, your upsell renewals, and these things, which a generic data analyst will take months to learn, right? So you already have these kinds of skills on your plate. Now all you have to do is you have business knowledge, you have acquired already, technical skills to bring that business knowledge into idea. So now before applying, and if you have never worked in a data analyst profile, it would be good because you already have knowledge about business. Take a dump of data from any of the websites that I mentioned, like UCI machine learning, Kaggle and all, related to retail, subscription-based model, medical data banking. Build your own dashboards, come up with your own inference, and put that as a case study in your profile, in your CV or your resume, and tell them that these are the projects that you have bring. So people, when they'll interview, they'll give you case studies. So you'll already be, well prepared for those kinds of things, right? So that would be a very smart way of entering into all these market skills. Okay. So I hope, that would have answered. No problem. Wonderful. So another question we have, I want to start with LLM and RAG building model. Uh, so if you have, good experience, hands-on experience on NLP, oh, that's it. Then, nothing is stopping you from building a more futuristic model, right? And if you already have database knowledges or data architecture knowledge like RAG-based systems, right? Then it's just one or two use case if you can solve from scratch. That's it. You will be given a better, opportunity compared to a fresher who's getting into the data science world. Because right now, a lot of organizations are looking for people who can fine tune or train the model from scratch. So for that, having the knowledge of generative AI, LLM, RAG, vector DB, and other kind of packages, LLM in terms of which model you have worked with, whether you have worked with Llama or whether you have worked with OpenAI API keys, right? So at least one or two use case if you can solve. Build any simple chatbots, right? Like the internet is flooded with all these projects, right? So one project end to end in any environment, you can deploy it on Streamlit. That will make you at par with the people who are working in the industry, because these are so new skills, new area, that nobody can say I have 2 years of experience in working with RAG or LM. How can they work? Like, it's innovation. So whatever you can do on your own, the same thing people in the company they are doing, right? So you both will be at par with that thing, right? Right. Linux and web browser knowledge, command line basic knowledge will be really helpful. Operating system knowledge, if you are in the R&D companies, like electronic and chip spaces, there your operating system level knowledge will be really helpful. However, if you are building a product these days, since we are shifting everything to cloud, your entire infra will be on cloud. So having the knowledge of even different Linux distributions or other browsing system, which partially might be helpful, but not at a very high extent, right? So having a cloud-based knowledge will be really helpful. Correct. Uh, cool, cool, wonderful. Electronics one, someone has mentioned. I am also electronics background, by the way. Right? See, background, as I already said, since you are already a technical student, right? So you should be having a better idea of what IT sector looks like, compared to imagine someone from economics coming up, someone who's in CA applying for this role, right? For them, it's a revolutionary change, different world altogether. But at least you would have seen C, C++ basics programming language, right? So I also started as a electronics engineer, communication. My first gig was with Accenture as a data engineer, right? Because I was good in SQL. So I got a profile as a data engineer. From there, I got built up, right? So you have to enter into the market, right? It's not about what you have done till now and what will you be doing in the future. It's about first getting into the market to understand where do you stand, right? Because nobody gonna be entertaining you with a very high-end monetary benefits, just because you have might have acquired a skill online. If you've done a project, that says a different story altogether, right? A key difference between ML and AI is AI is more towards your generative skills, like your chatbots, your Digiyatra. That is more like AI, right? Autonomous cars. Machine learning models, more like your Zomato keeping the price, your airline changing the price range, right? Uh, Classification of your customers. If a customer comes into my cafe, whether it's a high value customer, medium value customer, low value customers. So regression based models, classification models, recommendation, these are all part of your machine learning world. AI is more your chatbots, computer vision, advanced stuff, right? So that would be the area, right? So we'll keep on going forward, and I'll keep looking at the look on the chat and introduce you, right? So now, before I completely open it for Q&A, one more thing that I had on my mind that you want to address, since we have a very really dynamic group here, right? It would be great if learning skills as obviously not that difficult, right? You can acquire skills every day, here and there, but selling those skills is the most important part. So selling means you are selling a product, you are selling yourself when you go for any interview, right? So we have talked about data analyst profile, data science profile, machine learning profile, retail, healthcare domain, different domains. Now, what is the expectation, right? If you are just blindly practicing every day, you go to a boxing ring and start punching here and there, you will not become a boxing expert, right? You might acquire a lot of strength, but you will not acquire the skill to be a perfect boxer. So you can learn a lot of things using AI ML through different channels, but how to bring that information in a stream pipeline so that you become a really, good salesman, is knowing the art of cracking the interviews. So at a very high level, what is currently going on is a lot of organizations generally push for a elementary screening round where the number of applicants are really huge. So they want to filter those things out. For example, to make sure that the quality is maintained. They don't want to spend hours interviewing hundreds of people just to hire three people, right? So entry level screening test includes your MCQ and basic questions like your SQL based, basic supervised, unsupervised, recommendation based questions, right? Scenario based questions and asking you to select the correct option. Simple coding questions, right? If this is the scenario, what will be the output in Python? Simple your for loop functions, pandas, numpy, data slicing, and those questions, right? And that's the screening perspective. Then good companies in the sense high paying job companies might give you a case study for 2 days, 3 days, 4 days. Those case studies will have a data set and a problem statement, and you're allowed to use any resource available on the market. You can build that product on R, Python, or any cloud service. It's up to you. The reason of that case study is they want to see and get to know you. What are your creative things that you bring onto the table? If today I give you a simple machine learning model to build a model that can predict the price of a laptop, Kaggle is filled with thousands of solutions. You can copy any solution and you can build a model in 1 hour. Trust me, in 1 hour you can build a model that will take a lot of variables like RAM, screen size, battery percentage, processor, cache memory, operating systems, blah blah blah, and you can come up with the price of the laptop. But the difference here is why they give you such repetitive case studies is they want to see what different you are doing on that case study, like how you are solving the missing values, outliers, feature engineering, hyperparameter tuning, how you are evaluating your model, what new features you are extracting from the data. Then your coding rounds are there. Sometimes some companies do a live coding where you have to present your screen and do the coding. Then you have a business round. Then lastly, a managerial round that looks at you from a perspective whether you will be a add-on to the organization or not, right? So this is, I know, is a very high-level discussion what we had. I mean, definitely, if you give 1 or 2 mock interviews, you will be better off in understanding what exactly happens in the industry. But this few pointers that I just highlighted will be really helpful for you to prepare for the upcoming days in the world of data science for you all, right? So if you have questions on that, please fire away, right? So with that, this was the entire chain of thoughts that I had in my mind that I wanted to put forward, right? So now is the time that we'll take all your questions and entertain all of this, right?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, I mean, I think we've covered the questions that came in chat. If anyone else wants to ask any questions, you can unmute yourself and, have a conversation. Anyone who wants to unmute themselves, ask the question. आप अनम्यूट करके अपने सवाल पूछ सकते हैं अगर किसी को कुछ भी पूछना हो तो. I think there's one question from Pankaj. Can you please explain Tor browser and Kali Linux?
These are very, like you are asking these questions with what perspective, right? These are like operating system environments, right? For a data scientist, you can work with any OS. I mean, there's no hardline difference in it. Some organizations, prefer working in a core operating system, which are a research and development organization. They might be looking at from a perspective whether you have knowledge about advanced knowledge about the command line skill at a very root level. They might be leveraging. Otherwise, these are just your operating system only, just like Windows. Chrome is your browser. The same goes for your, these are more popular in the hacking world, not in the data science world, right? I mean, it has a very less relevance when it comes to data science and all. They have a very high relevance when it comes to people who are building their profile in security and hacking and ethical hacking, and even on your what do you have called this thing, blockchain technology. For them, these acquiring operating skills would be really helpful. For data science and all, it will not be like not make a major difference if you say that I can build models into different OS, right? Because 99% of the companies are on cloud, so they don't even care which OS you have on your plate, right? And the applications are all web-based applications these days, right? Web-based applications means you need a you need a web extension, and they can be deployed anywhere, right? They are operating system agnostic, to be very precise. Okay, cool. So someone saying you have a master's in mathematics. Oh, best. If you have a master's in mathematics, you can build your profile in the research and development phase. There are a lot of companies look out for the profile that says principal data scientist, right? So those are the people who build product from scratch. Why? If there is a model, let's say XGBoost is a model, right? Now, engineers like me will use that model to solve a industry problem. But principal data scientists, what they will do is they'll take that source code, they'll understand the math behind it and try to optimize it. Optimize in a sense, how can you change certain parameters at a coding, it's a very granular level of this model. And for that, people who have statistical and mathematical knowledge is fortune for you to be part of the organization. So look for principal data science R&D kind of a jobs that will be really helpful for you, right? Same goes for master in data science. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, go ahead. Someone is saying something.
Sir, if we say in a company there are 10 software engineer, and so it is there only one data analytics required for that branch.
No, not at all. That ratio is not even close, right? It's a completely different department. Software
Okay.
engineers are more like, for example, if you talk about Zomato, right? Zomato will be having front-end developers that are focusing on the UI of the application, back-end developers that are optimizing their data, right? That has nothing to do with the data world. You are a data analyst that is leveraging the data that has, like today, 10,000 orders are being there. So what is unique about that 10,000 orders? You're going to generate insight of the data. It has nothing to do with that
Right.
team. So if there are 100 developers, there could be 200 data analysts, because let's say my product is really popular throughout the world. So I might need someone who's good in the European data. That person has worked in the European country. So I will hire those data analysts for that, right? Someone who's good in, let's say, in the Western clients. So I'll hire data analysts in the expertise in the Western. So you can have n number of resources.
Okay. Sir, which has more opportunities, data analytics or data engineer?
They are equally valued, but little different from each other.
Okay.
Right? For example, if a company is hiring, I would say highest would be data engineers.
Yes,
Very
because sir,
close, very close will
right.
be data analyst, and third number will be your data scientist.
Yes, sir. I have completed my graduation in data science.
Mhm.
I am now building some projects also, and I have done course on this cloud course by using AWS. Basically, they are more on focused on admin tasks, data engineering tasks. So
Oh, that's why you were asking.
I am
Yeah.
finding more hectic data engineer work.
It's more hectic and more complicated, but more rewarding.
Right,
To be very
right,
honest, it's like very high paying jobs are currently in the data engineering world, really high,
right.
because it's really complex. But I think you have a good profile for a data engineer. You have cloud knowledge, you have data science knowledge, so you can do good in the data engineer world. Yeah.
Right,
Okay. Good.
right.
Thank you for that. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I think the next question is from Nishant.
Yeah. I can see. Data scientist from a software developer. Nishant, I think software developer is something, data science, machine learning engineer profile that I told you right in the very end, machine learning engineer. That profile will be best for a software engineer, because those are the people in which you will be asked questions like, your data structures, optimizing the code, CI/CD pipeline, system design base, because core data scientists lack these skills, right? And software developers are honed in this environment that, memory optimization, how to up scale your product. So you already have those kinds of knowledge, right? You already have given interviews and you worked with big O notation and you know how to optimize your code and all. So machine learning engineers are popular these days because they require a software knowledge where you can, optimize the product. Because if I build a machine learning model, it's not self-sufficient in self that I can deploy it. One user, 10 users are good. Today, tomorrow, if 1 million users comes, I'm not able to scale that product. So that gap that data scientists were having, that is getting overcome by people. Either data scientists have to acquire that skill, or the software engineers have to get onto that cycle, right? So for you, machine learning engineering profile will be good. So try to focus on, try to polish your, data structure skills, CI/CD based pipeline, system design questions, and if you have machine learning knowledge, that would be good. Watch some videos on how to, how people are deploying their LLM products here and there, and that will really build your profile at a very high level. Okay. Then we have masters. Again, any masters in data science, machine learning, I would say, will be a good transition because you have the research and development skills. And that's what principal data scientists that I already noted, right? So MS people, you already have R&D skills, apply for not as an engineering profile, but on a research profile. That will be opening for you all. Okay. Cool.
Yeah, I think it's
I think then more or less same questions. Yeah.
yeah.
Anything, Debanjan, I think we've not missed anything, right?
No, I think we've covered. I think there's one question. There's again, the last two questions are similar. One is, then they have experience in banking and used to make DB using Excel,
Okay.
and have learned Python. So I
Mhm.
think that will be relevant for them. And the last question is, they've completed master in commerce. So is it a good decision for them to choose, a job in data science?
Good. Yeah, I can quickly summarize that. Not a problem.
Yeah.
The commerce one, I would say, data science transition would be really good, but look for the companies that are, like almost every company is revenue driven, but more on the frontier that your domain knowledge will be helpful, right? Like subscription based model, like company like mine or a retail model companies. Don't go for the core medical and IoT based companies because your skills might be a mismatch. More of a company where financial terms will be there. That will be a better option for you. Regarding the DB part, I would say if you already have a good knowledge of databases, then data engineering is something that you should aspire for. That will be a little easy transition. Like go for the ETL based tools, as I mentioned, AWS Glue, your Spark and all those skills will be a very good thing to lead on to, right? Yeah,
Yep.
that would be my sent.
Yeah, I think we've covered all the questions. So I'll quickly come towards the conclusion of today's session. Firstly, Jayant, thank you so much for joining in and sharing your expert
No
advice with
problem
all
at
the
all.
students, especially the freshers who had their doubts regarding what direction they wanted to go ahead with their careers. So I think this session definitely has been value to people. Jayant, if you have any final words to say before we close, otherwise I'll just quickly wrap up the session today.
No, I think this was a very amazing and interactive session. I've never seen so many people are so excited asking questions and all that keeps the session alive for a very long time. So I
Yeah.
see a lot of spark and a lot of potential, and all I want to say is all the best, right, to everyone. Yeah.
Yep. Thank you so much, Ed. And thank you everyone for joining in and making the session interactive one or successful one. We really appreciate your participation, especially the questions that you've shared with us. I hope these questions were able to help others who also had similar doubts in their mind. We might not have been able to address all these questions, so we'll try to cover them in the upcoming sessions as well. Just dropping a quick reminder on two things. One is to fill out the feedback form. We have shared the link on chat. So please ensure that you're doing that so that we can understand what all topics we have to cover next. Is there anything that you want us to improve? And we can also invite you for all the future upcoming sessions that we have planned. Like I mentioned earlier, we have these sessions almost every day from 7 p.m. We'll also be having these sessions on weekends starting from this week. So keep a lookout on our website. I've shared the link for the website as well. Let me quickly share it again as well. Here you will be able to find the recording of this session and also other sessions that we've had in the past. Any upcoming session that we have planned, you'll find the listings there. You can register. These are all free sessions, so you can register for as many sessions as you want. And we'll also be posting about these sessions on Apna Community. You can check out those posts and register by commenting interested, and we'll send you an invite for any session that's happening. With that, I'd like to quickly thank everyone once again and hope to see you all in the next session. Thank you. Thank you very much, everyone. Have a great night. Thank you.